Hello everyone, it's Teacher Markee once again, and welcome to another video lecture. Today's topic is about legal, ethical, and societal issues in media and information literacy. Today, we will learn about the different legal, ethical, and societal issues in the use of media and information, and some netiquette for online communication. Let's get started. With the existence of the new media, everyone is at liberty to contribute and post information online. The problem with this evolutionary form of media is the lack of check and balance that traditional media requires. Often, we see countless of posts in our social media feeds that contain different kinds of information. And more often than not, we get confused as to whether or not we should believe or share such information among our virtual friends. We spend a considerable amount of time contemplating or even researching to validate what we have read, and sometimes we still end up being misinformed. Some of us are constantly being exposed to inappropriate contents and also fall victims to cybercrimes, whether we are aware of it or not. Therefore, we need to be media and information literate in order to minimize possible risks of using the internet. Knowing the different legal, ethical, and societal issues in the use of media and information will help us become responsible digital citizens. Here are some common legal, ethical, and societal issues in MIL. We have copyright, plagiarism, cyberbullying, computer addiction, and digital divide. Copyright in its literal sense means the right to copy. The owner of copyright has the exclusive right to reproduce, distribute, perform, display, license, and to prepare derivative works based on the copyrighted work. It applies to intellectual properties like images, for example, graphic designs, photos, drawings, etc., written works like books, manuscripts, publications, audio content like music and any other sound recordings, and performance arts like play, movies, shows, etc. Violation of copyright is called infringement. Copyright infringement is violating the intellectual property right of a copyright holder. The copyright owner holds the exclusive right to use their work, including copying the work, adapting, transforming, translating, or creating other works from the original one, distributing the work to the public by sale or other methods, performing the work in public, including digital audio transmission, and publicly displaying the work. The copyright owner can also allow others to use their work. If you are not the copyright holder and you don't have their permission to do one of the above activities, you may be committing copyright infringement. Plagiarism is another serious issue in MIL. Plagiarism means using someone else's work without giving them the proper credit. It is an act or instance of using or closely imitating the language and thoughts of another author without authorization. It is committed when one does not give credit to the rightful owner of the lifted source. Let's say you're working on your research paper and you find a great article online that has a lot of information useful for your topic. So you take several parts of that article, change a few words, and include it in your paper without giving credit to the original author. That's plagiarism, and it can lead to serious consequences. Now, what can be considered as plagiarism? It is plagiarism when you submit someone else's work and claiming that it's your own. When you copy another writer's work with no attempt to acknowledge them. When you copy media, especially images, from other websites to paste them into your own papers or websites. When you make a video using footages from others' videos or using copyrighted music as part of the soundtrack. When you perform another person's copyrighted music, such as playing a cover, and when you compose a piece of music that borrows heavily from another composition. At school, taking credit for someone else's work could mean you fail a subject or face disciplinary action. In the workplace, it could result in damage to your reputation, legal repercussions, or worst, losing your job. Even if you accidentally do it, such as forgetting to cite a source or misquoting someone, it can seriously get you in trouble. Here are some possible consequences of plagiarism. Destroyed student reputation. Plagiarism allegations can cause a student to be suspended or expelled. Many schools suspend students for their first violation. Students are usually expelled for further offenses. Destroyed professional reputation. A professional business person, politician, or public figure may find that the damage from plagiarism follows them for their entire career. Not only will they likely be fired or asked to step down from their present position, but they will surely find it difficult to obtain another respectable job. Destroyed academic reputation. The consequences of plagiarism may have widely reported in the world of academia. Once scarred with plagiarism allegations, an academic's career can be ruined. Legal repercussions. The legal repercussions of plagiarism can be quite serious. Copyright laws are absolute. One cannot use another person's material without citation and reference. An author has the right to sue a plagiarist. Some plagiarism may also be deemed a criminal offense, possibly leading to a prison sentence. Monetary repercussions. Many recent news reports and articles have exposed plagiarism by journalists, authors, public figures, and researchers. In the case where an author sues a plagiarist, the author may be granted monetary compensation. Plagiarism can take many forms, from deliberate cheating to accidentally copying from a source without acknowledgement. Consequently, whenever you use the words or ideas of another person in your work, you must acknowledge where they came from. Now let's talk about cyberbullying issues. Cyberbullying is considered as one of the fastest growing bullying trends among teenagers nowadays. It takes place online or using electronic technology such as cell phones, computers, and tablets over communication tools including social media sites, text messages, chat, and websites. Here are some examples of cyberbullying. Sending mean messages or threats to a person's email account or cell phone. Spreading rumors online or through texts. Posting hurtful or threatening messages on social networking sites or web pages. Pretending to be someone else online to hurt another person. Stealing a person's account information to break into their account and send damaging messages. Taking unflattering pictures of a person and spreading them through cell phones or the internet. Sexting or circulating sexually suggestive pictures or messages about a person. According to UNICEF poll in September 2019, 1 in every 3 young people in 30 countries has reported being a victim of cyberbullying. This is a serious problem. If cyberbullying happens to you, do not be afraid to seek help and defend yourself. Cyberbullying may be classified into 10 main types. The first one is exclusion. Exclusion is the act of leaving someone out deliberately. Exclusion exists with in-person bullying situations, but is also used online to target and bully a victim. Harassment. Harassment is a broad category under which many types of cyberbullying fall into, but it generally refers to a sustained and constant pattern of hurtful or threatening online messages sent with the intention of doing harm to someone. Outing or doxing. Outing, also known as doxing, refers to the act of openly revealing sensitive or personal information about someone without their consent for purposes of embarrassing or humiliating them. This can range from the spreading of personal photos or documents of public figures to sharing an individual's saved personal messages in an online private group. The key is the lack of consent from the victim. Trickery. Trickery is similar to outing, with an added element of deception. In these situations, the bully will befriend their target and lull them into a false sense of security. Once the bully has gained their target's trust, they abuse that trust and share the victim's secret and private information to a third party or multiple third parties. Cyberstalking. Cyberstalking is a particularly serious form of cyberbullying that can extend to threats of physical harm to the person being targeted. It can include monitoring, false accusations, threats, and is often accompanied by offline stalking. It is a criminal offense and can result in a restraining order, probation, and even jail time for the perpetrator. Fraping. Fraping is when a bully uses a person's social networking accounts to post inappropriate content with their name. It can be harmless when friends write funny posts on each other's profiles, but has the potential to be incredibly harmful. For example, a bully posting racial or homophobic slurs through someone else's profile to ruin their reputation. Masquerading. Masquerading happens when a bully creates a made-up profile or identity online with the sole purpose of cyberbullying someone. This could involve creating a fake email account, fake social media profile, and selecting a new identity and photos to fool the victim. In these cases, the bully tends to be someone the victim knows quite well. Dissing. Dissing refers to the act of a bully spreading cruel information about their target through public posts or private messages to either ruin their reputation or relationships with other people. In these situations, the bully tends to have a personal relationship with the victim, either as an acquaintance or as a friend. Trolling. Trolling is when a bully will seek out to intentionally upset others by posting inflammatory comments online. These bullies tend to be more detached from their victims and do not have a personal relationship. Flaming. This type of online bullying constitutes of posting about or directly sending insults and profanity to their target. Flaming is similar to trolling, but will usually be a more direct attack on a victim to incite them into online fights. Another pressing issue, especially among teenagers and students, is computer addiction. This refers to the excessive use of computers to the extent that it interferes with daily life. This behavior may interfere with one's work or sleep, resulting to problems with mood, relationships, social interaction, and thought processes. A study by Hootsuite and Weir Social in 2019 found that the Philippines ranked as the most internet-addicted country in the world with an average usage of 10 hours per day. The numbers are indeed alarming. Perhaps setting a time limit or doing outside physical activities may help lessen, if not totally eliminate, one's computer addiction. As computer and the internet become increasingly involved in our lives, some experts have raised concerns around the concept of people having an addiction. But what really triggers computer addiction? Here are some online activities that could cause computer addiction: playing computer games, doing online shopping, excessive exposure to social networking services, too much use of video streaming services, and even online gambling. And last but not the least, we have digital divide. Digital divide refers to the economic inequality between groups in terms of access to, use of, or knowledge of ICT. It typically exists between those in cities and those in rural areas, between educated and uneducated, and between socioeconomic groups. Beyond the gaps between developed and developing countries, rural and urban populations, and men and women, there are other types of digital divides. The access divide. It refers to the socio-economic differences among people and the impact on their ability to afford the devices necessary to get online. In developing countries, many people have limited access to technology or the internet and do not have the skills necessary to use it effectively. The use divide. This refers to the difference in the level of skills possessed by individuals. There's a generation gap when it comes to the skills necessary to use the internet. It is also affected by the quality of education that an individual receives. Younger and educated people tend to have more skills than older and less educated ones. The quality of use gap. This measure is a little more complicated. It refers to the different ways that people use the internet and the fact that some people are far more able to get the information they need from it than others. The internet plays a huge part in our daily activities, allowing us to communicate and share information with others. With so much of our lives dependent on the internet, it is important for us to understand how our online behavior can impact us and others. Because we don't always see the person on the other side of the screen, it can be easy for us to ignore the social etiquette that we would follow otherwise in face-to-face communication. Netiquette is a set of rules for good behavior and politeness followed by users of online and digital technologies such as the internet, email, and chat rooms. It is a combination of the words network and etiquette and is defined as a set of rules for acceptable online behavior. Here are some netiquette for online communication. Do not gossip. No spamming. Do not plagiarize. Do not plagiarize. Watch your language. Use proper quotations. Be patient with newbies. Avoid overuse of emoticon. Avoid writing in all capital letters. And avoid stealing online photographs. The primary reason for the existence of netiquette is to ensure smooth communication and avoid misunderstandings. Without a clear understanding of what netiquette is, people could come across as abusive or be a party to cyberbullying. Cultures vary across geographies, and the web has erased physical distances between people. So, we must learn to be sensitive to the diverse people with whom we communicate online. Keep calm and remember your netiquette.